Welcome to Music Fundamentals lecture on major key signatures. I'm Dr. Julietta Rabins, and we are basing this on the textbook A Creative Approach to Music Fundamentals by William Duckworth. In this chapter, we will examine how to identify key signatures for major scales, how this relates to the circle of fifths, and we're going to look at a couple things in rhythm. We're going to compare what we call triplets and duplets and learn a method for counting these. So for sharp keys, we just went around the circle of fifths in our major scale lecture. So if you look, there's a certain order for adding the sharps in the key signatures. And the key signature, it shows you at the beginning of a piece what notes are going to be sharp throughout. So like for the key of C, there is no sharp or any flat in the key signature because there are no notes that are altered. For the key of G major, we have an F sharp in the key signature because anytime you have an F in the piece, it's going to be a sharp. For the key of D, we have an F sharp and a C sharp. For the key of A, we have F, C, and G sharp. The key of E, we have F, C, G, and D sharp. D sharp. The last sharp added is always the leading tone. So for the key of B, we have F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, and A sharp, and so forth. The most sharps you can have are 7, one for each note in the scale. There is a key of C sharp major, and the very last sharp in the key signature is a B sharp. So the sharps are always added in the same order: F, C, G, D, A, E, B. F, C, G, D, A, E sharp, B sharp. There's a fun saying that can be helpful in remembering this order. Father Charles goes down and ends battle. And you can look at the lecture slides to see how those look when they're written on the staff. There's a really quick way to identify any major key signature. You look at the last sharp in the key signature. That is your leading tone. So if the one and only sharp is an F sharp, that's your leading tone, key of G. If the last sharp in the key signature is a C sharp, if you have an F and a C sharp, that's the leading tone for the key of D. If your last sharp is a G sharp, leading tone for key of A, and so forth. So we also have key signatures with flats in them. So for the key of F, we have a B flat. For the key of B flat, and E flat. For the key of E flat, we add the A flat. So we have B flat, E flat, A flat. For the key of A flat, we're going to have B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, and so forth. We keep getting more and more flats. But once there's a B flat in a scale, all flat keys have that B flat as their first flat in the key signature. So there's also a little quick method to finding, to naming a major scale, a major key with a flat key signature. You just look at the second to the last flat, and that's the name of it. If you have 2 flats, it's the key of B flat. When you have 3 flats, the second to the last flat is an E flat. There's also a fun little saying that can help you remember the order that flats are added. Battle ends and down goes Charles' father. B, E, A, D, G, C, F. So it's kind of fun that it's the exact reverse of the same saying for sharps, and that acronym kind of shows you that reverse, that palindrome for the phrase kind of shows you that there is a relationship between how flats are added and how sharps are added. So yeah, to name a major scale from its flat key signature, you take the second to the last flat, and that's your tonic note. So we are also going to look at the concept of triplets and duplets. If you remember the chapter on simple meter, the beat subdivides into 2. And in compound meter, the beat subdivides into 3. So for simple meter, we have 1 and 2 and. For compound meter, 1 and a 2 and a. Well, in music, we sometimes temporarily borrow one from the other. So if we're in simple meter, we'd have 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and a 1 and 2 and a 1. We've inserted a couple of triplets that don't normally belong there, but we squeeze them in just for something of interest. The reverse is possible too. You can have compound meter and you can throw in a duplet, a beat that only subdivides into 2. So you could have 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and 1 and a 2 and a 1 and 2 and a. Well, thank you for joining me for this lecture, and let me know if you have any questions.